Watch a baby learning to walk. They pull themselves up, they wobble, and they fall flat on their face. Then they get right back up. They don't worry about looking foolish or humiliating themselves. But somewhere along the line, adults lose this. We hit a difficult problem, we make a mistake, and suddenly we freeze. We want to quit. Psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying why this happens. By watching thousands of students grapple with failure, she discovered that our brains are operating in one of two completely different realities. The first is the fixed mindset. This belief says your traits, intelligence, creativity, personality, are carved in stone. You get a set amount at birth. The second is the growth mindset. Here, ability is a muscle that expands and develops through sheer application and experience. If you believe your intelligence is a static number, every challenge stops being a chance to learn. Instead, every situation becomes a high-stakes test of your permanent worth. If you fail, it means you simply don't have what it takes. This single belief about your own brain determines how you handle a setback, how much effort you're willing to put in, and whether you actually reach what you're capable of. To see how early these two realities take hold, researchers offered 4-year-olds a choice. They could redo a simple jigsaw puzzle they had already finished, or they could try a brand new, harder one. The children with a fixed mindset chose the safe puzzle. They already knew they could solve it, and to them, smart kids don't make mistakes. Taking a risk meant potentially exposing a flaw. The kids with the growth mindset thought it was a weird choice. Why would anyone want to do the exact same puzzle twice? Instead, they eagerly reached for one hard puzzle after another, completely absorbed in the chaotic process of trying to figure them out. This behavioral difference actually maps to physical activity inside the human brain. Researchers at Columbia University monitored brainwaves as adults answered difficult questions to see what they actually cared about. Fixed mindset brainwaves spiked only when told if they were right or wrong, hyper-focused on validation. When shown the correct answer to learn from, their neural networks flatlined. Conversely, growth mindset brains lit up and sustained focus precisely when learning the new information. To protect the ego from the sting of being wrong, the fixed mindset literally shuts down the brain's receptivity to new information. It turns intelligent people into non-learners. This dynamic scales up to the highest levels of human performance. In the fixed reality, trying hard is a sign of weakness. If you were a true genius, things would come easily. Tennis star John McEnroe was a prime example. Believing his talent was entirely innate, he avoided taking responsibility when he lost. He blamed the weather, he blamed his diet, the texture of the sawdust, and even a cameraman's headset. Compare that to Michael Jordan. He didn't rely on being flawless. He sought out the most brutal competition, recognizing his legendary status was the direct result of a relentless, exhausting struggle to build his skills. Soccer icon Mia Hamm used the same approach. She spent her life intentionally playing up, joining teams with older, bigger, and faster players. She purposefully put herself in intense environments where she would have to exert maximum effort just to survive. If you are relying purely on natural talent, exerting effort is terrifying because it leaves you without any excuses if you fail. But if you view your abilities as muscles, effort is the only accepted engine of mastery. We have a cultural habit of assuming our historical icons popped out of the womb fully formed. We like the romantic idea of the effortless genius. We picture Thomas Edison standing alone in a room, suddenly struck by a flash of lone inspiration. In reality, Edison had a massive, corporate-funded laboratory and a team of 30 trained scientists and engineers working around the clock to grind out a complex network of inventions over years. We see this same myth shattered in education. Teacher Marva Collins took inner-city students in Chicago who had been officially labeled as learning disabled and treated them as if they had limitless capacity. By treating their brains like muscles that just needed heavy lifting, she had second graders reading Shakespeare, debating Aesop, and discussing the philosophical implications of Macbeth. Jaime Escalante did the same thing at Garfield High School. He took students in one of the worst public schools in Los Angeles and successfully taught them college-level calculus, eventually outperforming elite, heavily funded academies across the country. You cannot measure human potential with a single test score or a bad grade. True potential needs years of passion and relentless effort before it finally shows itself. The real danger of thinking your traits are carved in stone is what it does to your identity. It takes failure as a temporary action, I failed, and attaches it to who you are, I am a failure. But these are ultimately just beliefs, and beliefs can be actively rewritten. You get to choose how you process difficulty. The next time you face a massive challenge and feel that familiar urge to retreat and protect your ego, you have the power to flip the switch. You can look at the obstacle and simply say, "This is hard. This is fun."